let's see, where is it? There is February 7th, not there. February 4th. It should be February, gotta be. Oh, I didn't do it yet. My goodness. Hey, Instagram, it's a me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the train to Tibet. Hey, it's a Thursday, which makes it a audio drama day. Very good. But I just realized, I wrote that Consalva to Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who passed on February 4th. Just a second. In fact, let me turn this around so you can see what I'm talking about. Turn. Hey, there you go. And let's come down a little bit. Whoop, I said down. There you go. Down a little bit more. There we go. So as you can see, I wrote a Consalva. Let me put my glasses on. See if that even helps. Yeah, that actually helps. See, I put my. Oh, it helps. See, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. passed. Well, he's born the 6th of October, 1929, and he passed 4th of February, 2025. I put gone, born gone. Interesting, I use the word gone because I saw this clip one time of Secretary, Stokely Carmichael. And he was going over something, some brother. They was doing something. Some brother said, "Well, so and so, he passed, something like that." And so Stokely says, "Well, he's gone. We got work to do." And it's kind of interesting. Anyway, I thought it was interesting. So I wrote a Consalva for him. Consalva is a 49 word poem. It consists of 7 lines. There's 7 words to a line. No word more than 7 letters, except for proper nouns. So this is a draft. I think the second draft, because the first draft, looks like this. I always write it on something that's around. The first draft looked like this. Then this is the second draft, and then I typed it into my phone under notes, but I forgot to put it in my book. I always put stuff in my book anyway, and it's just on the second draft I put a master teacher, Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., right? And so this is the poem here, and this is a 9. So he passed last Tuesday, or whatever it was, Monday, or the 4th of February. And it's supposedly like 9 in a lot of primal cultures. When somebody passes, they have 9. We wait 9 days. Stuff happened in the ninth day, the 9th night. There's a celebration and things happen. If you give to the family, things happen, right? And so I've been for the last 9 days. I've been every time I've been reading this poem aloud, and I decided, not decided, but this is the last one. So I'll read it now before I get into what I want to talk about tonight. So it's called "Here to Teach," Hear to teach. A Consalva for the Master. Too diverse in the plenty was he, teacher of the many, his task be. Known to some, introed to us all. The grand man of our master class became the sturdy steady to prevent chaos. With written to the vocal so needed toward our final freeing as human beings. There's a lot in here that he had, like for instance, we always say white supremacy and he fought against he insisted that let me turn this thing around. Well, let me leave it here. He insisted that racism or white supremacy, if you will, needed to be replaced. Now a lot of people didn't like the term white supremacy. Okay. Now, when I put here master class, this class, he held basically every Tuesday, he held class on transmitting over the internet for a long time, and years, in fact. And so I put class as class, but also in other words, the highly melanated people he's talking about us, right? We're a master class because everybody wants this class analysis, so that's what I'm putting in there. I call him a grand man, I know when it says known to some, intro to us all, that was something that Mr. Bobby, his longtime co-host, would say. He said, "Oh, I wrote it down. So, I wrote that down in the thing. Hold on, let me look that up. I want to be accurate." He would say, "Let me." When he was beginning the program, he would say, "Let me introduce to some and present to others Mr. Neely Fuller Jr." So he would say that. And so that's why that's in there. I start too diverse in the plenty was he. Diverse in the plenty. In other words, the plenty, meaning the black folks, melanated people. It's a very diverse group of people, and that's what that means. That's no bad. Teacher of the many was his task. So his task. He tasked himself for many a year to teach us or to expose us to the wrongdoings or whatever, and how to combat racism, white supremacy. And he always insists that you have to replace it with a system of justice. Anyway, became the sturdy steady to prevent chaos. Now, you're saying that they always throw in chaos, the distractions, whatever, to throw us off course, and of course we go for it. Well, I'm saying that. We've written to the vocal so needed. Now, he always think you have thought, speech, and then action, right? Written wasn't in there, but speech is in there. So I go from written to vocal, and then the actions which was needed towards our final freeing as human beings. He insisted that you have to you have to be a human being in this world today. So that's the last time I'll read aloud here that poem I wrote for Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. on the passing. Now I gotta run. When I'm finished with you, and I'm gonna eat some dishes today. I write it in my official journal, and I thought I did it before, but I did not. I write it in my official journal. Now this is audio dramatist. Some of you may not know I'm an audio dramatist. I'll be an audio dramatist. I'm one of those audio dramatists who I'm thorough. Audio drama is basically this acting for the microphone. I'm going to put this down just a little bit. No, I'll leave it like this. Acting for the microphone. Now, I teach it, I also teach it. I teach people how to write audio dramas. Now, the form I use is what's called in English the objective point of view, which means there's no narrator. It's dialogue, and through the dialogue you have to see, you have to know what's going on. The dialogue indicates what's going on. It's a long. That's how plays really start. That's how you do a play. When you have plays with a narration, that's another level, right? But if you're fighting a dialogue, the live dialogue should tell you everything that's going on. You see? So, but if you can write dialogue without narration, that means that you can write dialogue with narration. And if you can write dialogue with narration, it means that you're also a playwright, right? And which also makes you, in some way, a screenwriter, And if you can do that, then with a little bit of the descriptive passages, then you're basically a popular novelist, right? And then it goes on. You can build from there, build from there, build from there. So I use it now. I use it because I've done a lot of audio dramas. I've written plays. Whatever have you. What I do now, in my advisory capacity as an advisor to the Holte House, my group in DeBrother, we have a little community center there, and now we also have a theater over in the next on the village, Zebalaza, the village across the road there. They call it DeBrother Theater, I think, DeBrother Shack Theater, but it really is in Zebalaza. But don't tell anybody that. Anyway, so I'm about to have an audio. Hopefully, have an audio drama unit there where I will really get down. And when you say get down, what do you mean? Because when you have a unit that you can work with, when you have let's call it a repertory company, then that really, if you're a writer, if you're whatever, that really, really, really gives you a modern example. What just happened at the Super Bowl halftime? K-Dot, as he's called, or Kendrick Lamar out of Compton, you know, he basically, he has groups of people, you know, artists that he works with, whatever have you, that he can rely on. So when he's doing stuff, he knows, and he uses Compton as his base. Compton as his base, meaning Compton as not only Compton as the people, but the concept of Compton. And it was really interesting because he used I can't tell you how brilliant that halftime show was. It was 13 minutes, less than 15 minutes. Very streamlined, would have had. And he managed to get two of his artists in there, you know. And what's interesting to me is this, and everybody's going through it and saying these little points. Now they mentioned people always say this because he says somewhere there he says the revolution will be televised. You got the right time, but the wrong guy, or something like that. Now it's interesting because that revolution should be televised. This is why I think it's so layered. That revolution, of course, everybody knows that's from Gil Scott-Heron. But look at it. Gil Scott-Heron is considered the godfather of modern of hip hop. You know what I mean? Because, you know, right in the 60s, you know, he's of my generation, let's put it that way. In fact, I almost went to Lincoln University. I had a choice between going to Lincoln University, Fordham University, or Bronx Community College. I chose Bronx Community College. We won't get into that right now. Anyway, but if you look at the work of Gil Scott-Heron, most of it is against, it's fighting, is making commentary, is making comments, is talking about the system, right? And that thing that he did last night, the Super Bowl, is about the system. So all the references in his thing, everything, Uncle Sam, everything, it's just so layered. It's so, people will be dissecting that thing for years. So I'm just giving you one thing that people are not really talking about. Because Gil Scott-Heron, along with Brian, they did the Midnight Band, and they did something, H2O Blues, you know, you know, the modern, let me put that, someone once said, the only musical form that could get away with saying kill the Pope was the Rastafarians. But Gil Scott, man, after his first album, you know, Revolution, we televised, in fact, that wasn't, just follow me on this, forget that part. He just went, everything he did was consciousness, you know, and just a brilliant person. So Kendrick Lamar, if we could say the through line leads to, from Gil Scott-Heron through Kendrick Lamar, we don't know who's coming next. In fact, Kendrick Lamar is interesting because the other thing, people, I don't know if people know this, but there's a clip of Kendrick Lamar was hanging at Paisley Park one time, you know, near the end, you know, Princess thing in Minneapolis, and they talked for hours, and then, you know, they went out. He was supposed to do a show, I guess, but they didn't. They just went and did a little jam. You know, Prince did one of his licks and stuff like that. But it's almost like the lyrical. Well, let me put it this way: Prince, Kendrick Lamar got it from all these people in front of it, and the last, say, anointing, one of the last anointings that Prince did was with Kendrick Lamar. Let's put it that way. I mean, and you can't get a more perfect person that passed the baton to than Kendrick Lamar. And by all I know, people say, well, they're trying to, people do this all the time. I don't know why they do this. They try to, compare, this Super Bowl show is better than that Super Bowl show, blah, blah, blah. It's different eras. It's like basketball, trying to compare Abdul-Jabbar to, I don't know, whoever the big person is now these days. It's different eras, different rules, you know, different roughness. You know, you can't compare. You can if you want to, but it's a superficial comparison, right? So for me, the best show ever, Super Bowl halftime show ever, was probably Prince. Stop. Don't jump on me. But Kendrick Lamar is like the best halftime Super show ever because he's at another level. It's a different time. They try to compare numbers, but back then when Prince was doing his show, there wasn't that many devices. The internet wasn't that active. So now, and the world, the NFL didn't expand to Europe and stuff like that at that particular point. So the point is, there's no comparison. You can't compare errors, epochs. You can't mosquito. You can't compare errors. Don't do that. No, you just can't do it. And all that does is makes people lazy. What that really is a marketing tool, you know. So don't do that. I should make this short, but I just want to say, so audio drama is about getting your message out in a I guess they call it edutainment. So what Kendrick Lamar and his group did was edutainment to the highest degree, and kudos, man. And now I'm saying that people are studying that. Let me put it this way: if you want to say anything about the show, it is going to become the most studied halftime show of the NFL ever. Not only studied, but really analyzed. And here's the wonderful thing about it: it was totally melanated. There was no, it's like again, different eras. Like I grew up in the Black Arts movement. And we always do in plays. In every play, all the Ed Bullen's plays. Every play, even when I did a play, you always had like one white guy in there. For some reason, we always had one white guy in the play. Even when I did the Oya, we didn't have Oya. It was Yoruba culture. There was no white guy in the play. But when I staged a play, we did sound effects. So the sound effects person, we had the musical element, but we had the sound effects was an audio drama. Well, when I do a stage play, I wanted to do some sound effects there to make the play have sound. And so I was one of the sound effects person, and the other one was Matthew Finch, a white guy. So that because I come from that era where we did that, so I wanted to pay homage to that. You see? Okay, now you get it. But my point is, this was totally melanated because it was about. Dare I say, American Africans. That's what it's about, American Africans. I'm talking about people with the lineage that went all the way through the whole thing. Remember 40 Acres and a Mule? From the 40 Acres and from before 40 Acres, let's start it from 40 Acres and a Mule on to now. The 40 Acres and a Mule is a reference to reparations, which is what we're supposed to be striving for right now. If you're an American African for real, you're supposed to be striving for reparations, because the way I'll talk about that another time, but the way we're doing right now, we have to take this country, I know I'm sitting in India right now, and I live in South Africa, but the point is, we have to take America and make them pay the debt owed. It's a debt owed. You just make them pay. And in making them pay, what happens is now we're taking the money that they're spending on all these other stuff, giving it to all the other people, and continue to give it to all this stuff, and you make them pay what's owed to the people that built that country that they use now to as a launching pad for money laundering. They will use it as land grab and all the rest of that stuff. That's what's supposed to be done. If you're an American African with the lineage that goes back to the beginning of the country. Remember, the country just started in 1776. Then, and you built that country. You cleared you get them tree stumps out. You build you do all that stuff. But you're owed a debt because you wasn't paid. And when they promised to pay you, they didn't pay you. You know, with that guy Sherman guy, whoever it was, they promised to pay you, but then shortly after, somebody else came and said, "No, we ain't doing that." That's how the country works, right? A nation of laws. They can always change the law. So I have this thing, R.I.P., which means rip into pieces all those contracts that they're saying, and the reparations needed. We need the reparations. Why? Because we get the reparations, that means we will have a solid financial thing, so we can help out our brothers and sisters in Africa. Africa is uniting. There's so many stuff happening in Africa right now. I'm not even paying attention to the United States. They just want the reparations. When I say reparations, reparations, not just money, but other things. Everybody says money. Here's the one thing I would advocate right away before anything. anything that the United States does right now, because they'll use that money, they'll keep on giving that money away. Say, okay, whatever you allocate in your bills or whatever it is, you're gonna pay this, pay that, right off the top, because you owe this money. It's like I say 21%, but you know you can negotiate that. They'll negotiate it down. 21% of any bill that you pass to give out money, 21% of that bill has to go to reparations. Don't care what it is. You're going to continue to give money to Ukraine. 21% of that goes to reparations. You want to pay for some Afrikaners to come up to the United States and relocate to the United States. 21% of that budget got to go to reparations to lineaged American Africans. Simple. You start there. Then whatever you do after that, I don't care. That's my starting point, right? And what you gonna do with them? Don't forget what you're gonna do with the money. Just we'll do it what we need to do. Okay. So that's a scenario. That's something I can write about. That's something I can put into an audio drama. And that's how you make things popular. Which goes back to the point I really wanted to talk about, which is what Kendrick Lamar did. See, there's you have your academics saying, oh, this and that, give you the history of this and blah, blah. You have your your political people, your activists, your revolutionaries talking about, oh, they give you this analysis, we're going to do, we need to do this, have this confidence, that kind of. It's the artists that what I call the real cultural revolutionaries who that's what Kendrick Lamar did. He gave the history. And he's speaking, right? All the artists need to step up, because we are the tip of the spear. Here's what I mean. In fact, let's go back. I'm sorry. Let's go back to Super Bowl shows. Remember that show that was the guy Coldplay and Bruno Mars and Beyonce? Now, when you saw the Beyonce getting formation thing, when you saw the formation, they were saying, oh, that's about the Panthers. There's Michael Jackson. Now, what I saw, because I'm an audio dramatist, because remember, Beyonce had that blonde hair, right? So that formation they had was like a spear. The tip of the spear, Beyonce, with that golden hair, that's the tip of the spear. So for me, I'm going like, she's saying something else there. Black people, Texas people, something, they're the tip of the spear. That's how we push through. At the same time, remember, I think that was on a Sunday. I think maybe it was a Monday or something like that. Remember, Kendrick Lamar was at there was a Grammy Award thing, and he did this whole thing with the prisoners, slavery, prison as slavery. Did that whole thing. He did that whole thing. That was a protest, right? Now, this is what's so interesting. This past show, remember, you had Kendrick Lamar was the headline, right? But before this show started, you had white women doing "America the Beautiful," right? Which was singing that. Right? That was a poem by a white woman, popularized by Brother Ray, right? But then, who else? You have Lotus Seed singing the so-called Black National Anthem, the Johnson poem, right? I'm not going to say anything about it. It's a poem, so hey, let's call it culture, right? But you also had Jean Baptiste doing the national anthem. Now that same Super Bowl week back then with the Bruno Mars, Coldplay, Beyonce halftime, right? That Tuesday, I think it was, on the Tonight Show, the one with Jimmy Fallon, not Jimmy, the guy with the glasses, one of them is it Jimmy? One of them people, right? From the Ed Sullivan Theater. Because it was the anniversary of the Beatles making their thing, Jean Baptiste did a song, right? He did the Beatles' Blackbird. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings to learn to fly. All your life, you are waiting to be free. But he started like that. So to me, and all those songs that weekend, that was an incredible protest song. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take your broken wings and learn to fly. All your life you was waiting for this moment, this Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl moment to say, let us launch. So we had all those years, now we're ready to launch. Again, this is cultural. Cultural revolutionaries are the most important. You get all your academics you want, but blah, 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 blah. You can get all your talk show hosts, blah, 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 blah. You can get all these analyses and we need to, and hey, blah, 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 blah. Well, who's doing the action? Just saying. So as they say, I will land my helicopter here. Be well. Talk to you soon.